All right. For anyone unfamiliar with teasers, it's when you get an additional allotment of points when you parlay 2 or more bets against the spread. The standard is a 6-point teaser. So that means a 7-point favorite becomes a 1-point favorite. A 7-point dog becomes a 13-point dog. You can find more great content about teasers if you just Google Stucky Teasers. He has a lot of great content teaching you how to
put a new guide out today on the app. New teaser guide.
Oh, there we go.
Today.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so check the Action Network app. Follow Stucky at Stucky2 and check his teaser guide that just dropped. Where you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brady. Teasing Brady up over 7. By the way, he's 9-0 when teased as a dog between 1 and 3 points in his career. Think that game will be close and lower total as well, which helps. And then I'm going to tease him with the Saints from 2.5 to 8.5. If Winston doesn't play, banged up, and it's Dalton, fine. There's going to be no downgrade from a spread perspective for me. Getting that over 8, lower total. One thing I like about this game, a little slept on angle, is I really value the experience of going to London. And it's just such a unique thing, and you got to get people acclimated. And I think the Saints are handling this so much better. They went to London on Monday. They got there Monday. And it's not surprising because Dennis Allen, their head coach, has been there in 2017 as an assistant. He was there in 2012 as the Raiders head coach. He was there in 2007 as the Saints assistant again. So he's been there 3 times. O'Connell's never been to London before. Not even his assistant, never on a team. None of his assistants are. They're going Friday. I don't get that at all. So it's very bizarre to me that you got to get your bodies adjusted. And Kirk Cousins was even in an interview saying like, yeah, we're going to be really jet lagged and we got to somehow get over that. It's like, we'll go earlier in the week. That's how you get over it. So I like how the Saints are preparing and handling the trip over, but low total. I think this game should be close. I think the Saints bounce back here, get a good defensive effort.
Yeah, the Saints are one I'm monitoring. I almost took them in the 6-pack at. They did hit 3 at one point. It looks like they're kind of fluctuating between 2.5 and 3. But we record this on Wednesday, and usually I don't pay much mind to these Wednesday injury reports, but I mean it's pretty brutal for the Saints. So that's something to monitor. I mean, Michael Thomas, don't know if he's gonna play. Jarvis Landry, don't know if he's gonna play. Winston, obviously. Andrews Pete. You just got injuries all over the place for the Saints. But I probably will be just playing them on the spread straight up. Although, what do you think of that trend about London teams? I think they're like, what is it, like 19-11 favorites in London over the past decade and a half. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that it comes down to maybe the better teams are in general more prepared and handle those things a lot smarter. And that could show up. It's also still a smaller sample size, but it could have something to do with just like the preparation, the professionalism, and like handling this unique trip. And but in this case, it's like they're 2 pretty even teams. The spread is under a field goal. So, and I also think that in this case, the Saints, who have the much more experienced staff in this case, are handling this a lot better. But probably need to get more data on that.
All right, for mine, I'm going with the Bucks, teasing them to 7.5, and then the Broncos teasing them to 8.5. And I know you like the Raiders this week, but I'd be concerned about the Raiders. I know this is like one of those spots where they're 0-3 straight up, they're 0-3 against the spread. It's like you expect them to bounce back, but I think McDaniels is in trouble here. I just think that it's a difficult adjustment for him. Kind of going from what was going on in New England, where he got to focus on offense, and you see this a lot with some of these coaches. Now he's out there, he's calling plays, he's got to be in control of the team, he's got to get them ready, because what we've seen out of them is like in the Chargers game, fine, whatever, but game 2, they get up big. They take their foot off the gas after halftime. That's on the coach to keep them motivated. And then in week 3, they just come out flat, and it's just mistake after mistake. And also, he's causing Derek Carr to regress. And, because Carr is essentially just going where the read takes him. And now Devontae Adams is not happy. So it's now it's like, what are you going to do to fix that? And are you going to force the ball to him? But this is also a week you got Patrick Surtain, who could shadow Devontae. So that's not a great matchup. Derek Carr's committing a lot of turnover worthy throws. So I like Russell Wilson in this spot as a dog. I think the Broncos offense actually is going to have their best game in this spot against this Raider D. I know Patrick Graham, he's still there, right? He's the Raiders D quarter. Yeah. He had a good game plan against Russ with the Giants. So I think Russ is going to be able to learn from that a little bit, and they're going to be able to learn from that. I like what the Broncos are doing, hiring and kind of admitting where they're going wrong. And I just think it was a brutal matchup last week for them against San Fran, and people are a little too down on this Broncos team. So give me the Broncos teasing them up over 8 here to 8.5. Russell Wilson as an underdog in his career, for what it's worth, 27, 13, and 2, 68%. And on the road, he's 63%. But Josh McDaniels, he got off to a 6-0 start against the spread as a head coach. Since then, he's 7-18 against the spread, just 28%. And also this is a really interesting one too. I don't know exactly what it means, but when you have a dog that's closes 1.5 to 2.5 in week 4 specifically, so it's a sample size of 30, so it might just be nothing, but it did grade out as an A in BetLab. So 23-7 against the spread, 1.5 to 2.5. So if it doesn't get to 3, 77%. So obviously you're teasing it up past 8. You don't really, that it's kind of moot, but it just makes the case stronger in my opinion. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised the Broncos win this game.
Yeah, I like the Raiders. I mean, if you watch the Broncos offense, it's Iowa.
I have. I've watched the Raiders too.
It is. The Raiders. The Raiders are 0-3, and they could easily be 3-0. They played evenly against the healthy Chargers team. They were up 3 touchdowns on your Cliff Cardinals, and then last week, Waller drops a touchdown pass. They score 16 points in 6 red zone trips and give up 21 and 3, and go 1 of 12 on 3rd down. A lot of those things I think is some noise, especially in the red
Fair
zone.
enough.
Waller dropping some passes, so
they
could be 3-0. They could be 3-0. And the Broncos struggling to beat the Texans at home in Denver in the altitude where they always thrive in like that first game. And then last week you just you get 11 points. Russ isn't running. The offense is completely broken. It is beyond repair unless they let him loose. It's a joke. And then after the game, he's like, this is a championship performance. Like, do they think that the offense is not broken? One of the worst offenses I've seen in my life watching the NFL. It was the biggest discrepancy in 3 and outs for a winning team in the history of the NFL. I think they had 9 more 3 and out. It was embarrassing. I think the Raiders get it done. I think Carr bounces back at home.